walls is kind of tilted. The foundation is strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
What am I saying?
I introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
I love it. I love it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited for you all to join us. Listen, we've already made the announcement. We have our Tribe 2.0 family with us tonight. But before we get around to welcoming, we want to welcome you all to our Unhinged Live Show. It is an exciting time for us as we get to convene the tribe once again. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Make sure that you are liking and sharing these videos with those folks who you just want them to have a good time. You already see in the corner. Listen, it's about to be a whole entire blast for these next few minutes that we are before you. Thank you so much for those who are replay viewers who will see us, and you'll be able to see the shenanigans right after we are in our nap time. But as we kick it off, we want to just give you the rundown of the show, and then we're going to get right into it. Why? Because we got a banger for you tonight, and I'm excited for all of us to be here. So we're going to give you this rundown. We're going to get our super fan shout out. It ain't going to be no surprise. We're going to have our tribe family check-ins. Where we may get to a musical break. Some of these weeks we haven't been getting there because the conversation and the show has been so fire, but we're going to put a pin in it to say there's a possibility. And then we're going to get into that segment we all love, what's really going on, followed by your reflections of purpose. And then we can't get out of here without our Just Be moment. And so super excited that before we go to the round table to talk to the tribe, I want to take a moment for our super fan shout out, right? And so every week we come to you with a super fan shout out, and normally it's, people who are supporting us. But here's the thing, in this season, we're going to be the example. So our super fan shout out for this week is none other than ourselves. That's right. We repping ourselves for the tribe. Can we get our clapping up on that? Why? Because we've been behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, as we all like to say, we outside. We outside at karaoke. We're outside supporting small businesses and the entertainment industry in so many different ways with our time and our talent. And sometimes you just got to take a moment and say, big up to yourself for the work that you are putting in. So tribe mates, big up to all of us, because we really are putting in the work. The people don't know what goes on in the background when we come on this show. We've had a whole month of shenanigans, right? I'm going to tell a little bit, and then we're going to go around the round table. We've talked together. We've cried together. We've prayed together. We have been ready to throw some more than spaghetti on the wall about different shenanigans that's going on. And then we get to encourage one another. We get to breathe with one another. We get to lift each other up in so many different ways. And so I know many of you see our tribe, and it's like, how did they get together? Well, one, our fearless leader, Tilted Halo, had the direction, right, and that unction to say, oh, I'm gonna get my friends and they gonna get their friends and we gonna be friends. And this is what you see as the culmination of all of this on the camera. So Teddy, I'm gonna start with you this time, right, and then we're gonna go around. How you doing?
Sleepy. You know I need a nap right about now, but you know it's all good. I'm so happy to be here tonight. You know I miss y'all so much on screen. I know we do spend a lot of time together in real life. We really are a tribe in every sense of the word. I'm just, trying to take it all in, Karen. I think that's the best way to put it. As you shared in the last month since we've been off screen, we've been outside and we've been outside winning.
Hey,
that's the best way to put it. We have been, ain't no I in team. We have been outside winning. We've been winning in our relationships. We have been winning in our individual industries. We have been leading in our brands. We are out here getting things done because we understand that every creative gift that God has given us has a purpose. So once again, I am super excited for tonight's conversation. I want to go ahead and say personally, welcome to all of you who are tuning in on us tonight. Get in the chat room. We want to talk to you. And if you have a StreamYard account and we can see your face, you know it's a whole possibility. Your words can be posted here on the screen. So get into the conversation. And hey, I got to take a moment, Karen, to do this. If you like what you hear week after week, month after month, year after year here on Unhinged Live, go ahead and tell somebody about it. And not only am I asking you to tell someone about it, go ahead and share the live on your page. You never know what nugget may come from Jackie, Rhonda, Bliv, Marisol, or Karen, or myself that might be the life-changing word that someone needs to hear in the moment. So look, I'm going to go ahead and toss this mic right back to you, Karen, because I'm on break tonight.
Y'all know it always start out that way and somehow, but I ain't calling nobody out right now. Y'all just nod your head if you know what it really is. Jackie, I'm gonna go over to you. How you doing?
Hey sis, I'm doing all right. Just out here in these streets, like you said, outside. We've been, beating up and my son just had a birthday a couple weeks ago, so we was outside heavy for that. So, I'm doing my thing, work, kids, doing everything. But I'm so happy to see some nice weather outside because this is my time. Like this when I'm like, yes, come through, sunshine, come through. So I'm happy right now. I'm happy.
I love it. For those of you who don't know, Jackie be low key our event coordinator. She'd be the first one. Be like, "What's our itinerary? Where we going? What time we need to be there? What time we need to?" Okay, I ain't gonna put you on blast, but she makes sure we write and at least generally on time. That's all I'm gonna say. Generally. On that, Rhonda, I'm coming over to you. How you doing?
Hi everyone. Hi Karen.
Hi.
I am doing all right. It is warm and the theme song in my head is I'm Coming Out.
Love it.
Because I love this weather and I can walk, I can exercise outside. I just like being outside. So I love it. I love this weather.
Good stuff. Beautiful stuff.
Yes. And I had the opportunity to hear Jackie sing. Jackie's a singer, y'all. My first karaoke night, evening family fun, I got to hear Jackie. I was so excited. I was like, yes, I can finally hear her sing. Yeah, because we know Nikita can sing, but then I was like, Jackie? Oh, Jackie was doing her thing.
It's a family affair.
Yes, it was. So doing all right. Countdown to graduation for my oldest. So excited for that in a couple of weeks. So just still doing the business and new connections, a lot of connections.
Good stuff. We're gonna get into that because we see some things being birthed in a couple of areas. So stay tuned. Speaking of family affair, come on over to our dynamic duo, not the Colognes in the building. We got G and Marisol. How y'all doing over there?
Hey family.
Hey fam, we doing good. I've been really busy building stuff that I didn't think I could do, but I did it. Fighting with myself so much. I was fighting with myself. It was just incredible. But he kept it going for me.
So
Hanging with my grandson, being creative with him, spending time with him.
Beautiful.
And his creative juices flowing all over the place.
yeah.
And just being and in the moment, enjoying the weather because
yeah,
it's
the
been,
sun.
I don't like the
beautiful.
winter.
Yeah,
It's rough.
beautiful.
I get like the winter blues.
Yes.
So I fight with that the whole winter. And then finally we're here and it's like, finally we're here.
Yes.
I feel you. Listen, I'm passing the baton, G, because I thought we had Bliv with us today, but I feel like he bought guest or a proxy. I'm not really sure at this point. So we're gonna pass the baton and ask our guest to introduce himself to our audience.
How's everybody doing? Nah, what's going on, y'all?
I love it.
What's going on? Y'all know I'm silly. Y'all know I'm silly.
We love it.
For sure.
Woo!
We love it. Bliv, you know you are a wild card sometimes, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty much excited. The weather's getting warm, getting ready to get the body right to be outside on the kayaks. So right now I'm just about my prayer, exercise, and positivity. That's about it.
Listen, that's a whole day's worth of work right there. Just staying in your lane with those particular things. For those of you who trying to figure out, how you could stay out of everybody else's business, do what Bliv just said. I promise you, your day will be full. I promise. Prayer, get right. What? That's it. That's it. All right. So I'm excited, as I said, that we had the opportunity to come in, and a lot of what you all are going to hear tonight, because we're our own special guests. We're our own super fan shout out. We thank you all for joining us. Make sure you get in those comment streets with any questions. But as always, we tell you and remind you to grab your passports because you don't know where we're going to go. We want to talk a little bit about the projects for each of the folks that are on the screen, right? And some of the stuff is Project Keep Your Mind Right. With so many life changes going on, I want to dig into our first question of how are you maintaining positivity while experiencing the changes from the world? Is it a fast from something? Who knows? A fast from spending? Is it less time on social media or less time watching the news? But I'm wondering, because I know that our audience always gets the best tips and tricks for how we can keep it right during these life-changing days. So, Rhonda, I'm gonna start with you, right? Because I know you're always making sure that we stay right with our mental health breakthrough tips. So I want to start with you and ask, like, how have you been working to maintain your positivity during this time?
And as you know, and our tribe know, and our listeners know, that there are changes every day that's going on in the country, around the world. There's like changes daily, seconds. There are a lot of changes, and you can't even have time to digest the first change before another change happens. So what I decided to do, and what I decided to share with my family, is that we can only focus on what we can control right now. There are things that we can't control, and why focus on those? Why get yourself worked up about things that you yourself cannot change? You have to focus on what you can change. Again, self-care, because if something is going to make you angry and you're going to go down that rabbit hole of anger, by the time you get out, you are going to be so angry that you have no control of what you say or do. And that is why I talk to them so much. And I'm like, No, sometimes you have to remove yourself for your own self-care. You have to remove yourself. Focus on what is positive. And because with this tribe, I'm surrounded by positive people. So there's a lot of negative things in the streets. You're hearing a lot of little buzz things. And instead of getting yourself worked up, close it out and go to something positive. Because when you stay in that negative mindset, you can't even see when something is positive. So that's how I try to focus on things that are coming at me. I got student loans. I have student loans too, but it's not going to send me crazy. There's a lot of things. We shop. So now I control my shopping. I don't need to buy anything. If I think paying extra is going to get me upset, I'm just not going to buy it. I don't need it. I'm focusing on food. We need to eat. So I'm going to focus on food. I have a lot of clothes, so we're going to mix and match. We're going to do stuff. I don't need to spend. I really don't. So why complain about tariffs and extra taxes and things that are so expensive? Like, just don't do it. Just train yourself not to do it. If you have to do it, find another way. There are lots of places you can shop on a discount that you don't need to go to. I don't want to mention names because, again, they don't sponsor us, but you don't need to go to those places. You don't. Just focus on, and you know what I said to my daughter, like, you have a goal. Keep focusing on the goal because distraction kicks you off that road to your goal. So just keep focused on what your goal is. Every time you hear these distractions, they come and they upset you emotionally and then physically. And then you can't even do what you're supposed to do because you're now in another world. So come back and stay focused and try to reach your goal.
Love that. Love that. I appreciate you sharing that, and it's a constant work, right? Constant everyday work. It's not the same thing every day, as you mentioned, because we see a lot of people getting hit left and right. Right. Yes. And to God be the glory, like we could say it that way, that our faith is strong, right? And we understand that there is a greater plan. Ooh, but sometimes it get on our nerves to see it. Jackie, yes. I want to reach out to you, right? Because I know you keeping yourself right, but you mentioned you had a birthday, right? For your son had a birthday, and
right.
And it put in my mind, like, how do we keep our kids encouraged, right? Because I'm sure many of them don't even know what this stuff is that's going on. It's like, oh, it costs more. Well, did they really care how much it cost before? I'm putting the kids on blast. They didn't care last month what that stuff cost. They want what they want. So I wonder, Jackie, what is it like? Are you having some of these conversations at home to kind of manage any of the craziness that your children might be experiencing when they leave the home? Like, we know we got home tight. What happens when they go outside? And I'm just wondering what those interactions are, even when they get together with their group celebrations.
Right. Well, it's funny because you say that, because there's something that my daughter always says, like, to start a conversation, she'll always say, what about the political and economic state of the world? Like, because she's 17 and, that's her thing. That's what she says. And she probably said it 3 times today. And she doesn't even like to segue like a conversation. Like, so what about the political and economic state of the world? So
get in it.
Yeah. So we have those conversations a lot, right? Like, it's a good conversation starter, like, and we'll talk about it a lot. But I think that one of the big things that I do, like, I try to practice with my kids is something I also practice in my own life, is like just reminding them that it doesn't matter who is sitting in that chair. It doesn't matter what is going on around us. We do what we got to do to maintain for our household. I always say I ain't gonna put my address out here in these internet streets, but I always say, it's not affecting what's happening at this address. Okay, at the end of the day, because mommy gonna do what she got to do, right? Like, we gonna do what we got to do, and we gonna be all right, and just to kind of keep that positivity in front of them. Like you said, we just had a big birthday, and it hit them pockets. It hit them pockets hard. Okay, like, guess what? Mommy do what mommy got to do, and we get it done, right? So they don't even notice, they notice enough because of the news and the things that we hear on the radio and the conversations that we have and all that stuff. And we have those conversations, but at the same time, I try to instill in them like my viewpoint and my worldview, with the understanding that they're going to come up with their own worldview at some point, right? But I impart into them my own worldview, which has always been, in this. As for me and my house, we serve a great big God, and he always takes care of us. And it doesn't matter what's happening around us. We're going to stay positive. We're going to do what we got to do. And it don't change nothing. They say one monkey don't stop no show. It don't stop no show over here ever. Okay. So, and again, that's how we stay positive. That's how I keep them positive. And we just do what we got to do no matter what's going on around us, because it doesn't matter. Rhonda, mind over matter. All of this really is mind over matter, right? Like things are going to happen. The ebbs and flows of life are going to come and they're going to go. We're going to go through 4 years of whatever and 4 more years of this and 4 more years of that. But at the end of the day, we have to stand fast on the word that never changes, right? Like that don't change.
That's
Our
right.
God don't change. The person sitting in wherever, whether it's the governor's house or the governor's mansion or the White House, it don't matter. Our God don't change. He always sitting on that throne. He take good care of us. So we good out here. Okay.
I love it.
I try to impart that into my kids, and that's how we live our life.
I love it. I love it. Well, Jackie, I'm gonna go pass the baton over to your best friend, right? I already know, right? So we tease in the background for those of y'all who don't know. I am fully convinced and persuaded that, whether y'all believe in other lives or not, Bliv and Jackie were siblings. And I believe that he was I'm not yet sure whether he was the little brother or the big brother, but I promise you, this is how I interpreted Jackie. I hope you interpreted the same. But the love that you two share is unmatched by any other two people in this tribe. And so I'm always trying to figure out, like, okay, you get in your corner, you get in that corner. But Bliv, you was outside as well, taking care of some positive celebrations. And, we had some pictures and we saw y'all outside doing the poses. 2-part question. How are you keeping positivity up? And tell us a little bit about the springtime sprung, you getting outside.
Yeah, the way I stay positive, like I said, with the whole politics, I don't even get into it. I live my life. And not to reiterate what Jackie said, but as long as you're following God and just trusting in God, then I feel like everything's going to fall into place. So I just focus on trying to get myself right and being a better version of myself. And yeah, I was outside for my cousin's birthday. So wanted to dress up a little bit, not have the typical rapper look. Get on my grown man. And
I'm about to say something, but I'm trying to be good. Keep going.
and by the way, for those who haven't seen, I'm getting ready to perform for my 3rd time for the Juneteenth events, 3rd year in a row. So if y'all ain't doing nothing on June 21st, pop out Allentown, come see your boy do his thing.
That's what's up.
But that's pretty much it to sum it up in a nutshell.
We love it. We love seeing that we booked and blessed, right? So many things that could be going on. And not only are we keeping that positivity here, right? In our little square. I don't know if these are squares or rectangles, but whatever they are. It's not just in this area, right? We trying to make sure that we put that positivity out. And so I know if y'all haven't gotten it on y'all schedule, don't worry, we gonna share with y'all so that y'all don't miss it, so that you get out there and make sure not only are you supporting the performance, but doggone it, we gotta schedule happy in our life, right? We gotta schedule some joy. And if you've never seen Bliv perform, well, then you missing out on the treat. Because I've experienced it, I know what it is. It's part of this entire joy tsunami. You're not gonna see experience a performance moments and not have some joy imparted into your life. I love it. I love it. So now I'm Marisol, I'm gonna head over to G first, right? Because G, you be out here. You be out here, like, and it's a little bit different because Marisol, you know, you are always on the go. You're always, you know, in the community, giving of your time and your talents, right? And most people might miss the fact that it's not just your husband being your chauffeur, right? Like he is out here supporting you,
Yes.
supporting your family, but also support. Like we all, and we gush over it all of the time, G, about how, you know, we were able to get you as our bonus brother, right? In all of this, but Master, I'll be telling your business sometime, G. I'm putting it right out there, right? She like, my husband took me out and he bought me flowers. And can you just say a little bit about how not that's bringing positivity to her, but how that affects you to be able to support your wife the way that you are supporting her in this season?
Well, I love to see her happy. It's her turn to shine, you know. It's her turn to shine. So back in the days, I was that person, you know, and she had to take it back and take care of the family, you know. So when things used to happen and she wanted to do a project or something, either you know, my daughter got sick or my son, or, you know, a lot of stuff was going on in life. So she took it back and I took over. Now it's her time. I want to see her shine. That makes me happy. And she's happy, you know. So she's doing her thing. It's her turn now. It's my turn to just take care of that. That's all, you know. So as long as she's happy and I see that, it makes me happy, keeps me going in life, you know. And so I love to see that happy face. I try to do.
I'm gonna be smiling like this forever.
You know, so it's
when he gets mad at me, I'm gonna play this back and I'm gonna be
there you go.
I really get mad at her. She knows that though.
Hardly ever.
Yeah, so it's just, that's what I like that. It's her. I'm gonna represent her now. It's her turn, you know.
I love it.
Thank you very much.
Listen, and here's the reason why that's so important, G. I mean, we know you love your wife, right? Like, I mean, really love her. We know that you love supporting her, but it's a lot of our brothers and sisters out there, right? A lot of times, you know, sisters, we get caught up in the lie. Ain't no good men out there, or nobody's gonna support me. But when we see it happening in real life, in real time, right? A lot of times people will, and you know, the tribe got to be introduced to my husband last week. Plus, Marisol, this is a little bit, you know, payback.
I was waiting for
like, oh yeah, Karen, you so quiet. This is so wonderful. Listen, when you loved on, we get to be quiet, right? That smile is the loudest thing in the room. But I also know that it's conversations that we have over here in the Harrow House. It is what it does for the person who is giving, right? What it does for you to be able to support your wife and your family and hold it down for her when she's doing all of the things that she said. And I love what you shared about, you know, I was in the front. I know what it is. I know what this is. And being able to not only make space for her, but for you to, you know, say that people need to hear that as an example, but also for motivation, right? Brothers, we love y'all. Like over here, y'all ain't gonna hear no male bashing. And if you do, we gonna cut it short. I promise, because we are a group of people who understand the importance that the men in our lives bring to us, right? We can't do all of the things that we're doing without having some support that's coming from all of the different places. Plus that male energy. Listen, we need it. We need it. And every now and then y'all better not tell Alfred, but every now and then I need him to be like, all right, Mrs. Harold, you know, let's chill out.
So
sit down somewhere. Like, that's it.
That's so true.
Love it, love it, love it. So listen, for all of y'all, we just trying to keep the positivity train going. Tilted, I know you off, but I think that you might have some nuggets that people might be able to glean from on how you maintaining positivity. So, we're gonna take you off of mute and let you, share in the conversation.
Well, I can co-sign what both Jackie and Bliv shared on tonight. I've just been keeping myself in a space of prayer and praise and gratefulness, primarily. Grateful for every moment of each and every day. Grateful that I have a warm home to come to, because it doesn't have to be this way. I hear the stories because I'm so involved in public service and so many of the things I do. I hear so many stories from mostly complete strangers. And, they have some interesting things to share. I had a conversation with a woman the other day, and I asked her how she was doing. And she said, good-ish. I said, wow. I said, you know what? At least I hear you acknowledging that you're good. Everything is not perfect, so you're good-ish. I get it. So I'm glad that you shared that answer with me. Many of us are good-ish right now, and it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge what you're feeling, but it's also very important that you're intentional about how you redirect your frustrations, because I sense that that's what's going on. A lot of people are simply frustrated with the unknown, and the internal narratives that they're creating for themselves inside their own heads. I'm gonna share with you something that happened with me last week that had me go deeper on the inside, like what's really going on for real. And I think this is a conversation starter, Karen. You should have left me on mute. I don't even know why you do this, but anyway. Y'all know somebody called me a racist last week. This is someone who's never met me face to face. They've only heard my voice over the phone. And because I was not doing what they wanted me to do in that instant, of course, this is a person who is, being greatly impacted by the narrative being spun through all these media channels. And, I was able to remain calm because, again, I've been in a space of prayer since January 1st. So that I keep me in check in my response to people, because I know my responsibility is to love, even beyond myself. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to being called a racist and how it made me feel. It really made me sit back. I'm like, am I? I'm gonna question myself. Because again, I've been having a lot of conversations, and I legit had someone today tell me that their child called them a racist. Yeah. So I'm like, how do you define a racist? And I know a lot of the information I've ingested over the last past few months, because I haven't been watching the news, outside of checking the weather in my local area and the traffic. What is racism mean? What is that? And the person was of Hispanic descent, hurling that slur at me. Again, only hearing a voice over the phone, not knowing that I'm like the blackest person you'll ever meet. I wear my blackness with freedom. It made me question what's really going on. I'm so grateful that you asked this question tonight. What are people doing to keep their joy in the middle of so much external turmoil? I'm gonna tell you what I did when I got that false accusation. It was really fake news. Everybody who heard it laughed at it because they know me. I've been dancing a whole lot. I've been karaokeing a whole lot. I've been, boots on the ground. I'm trying to learn all the new line dances. So should the song come on at the shindig, I can get it in, because y'all know I like to boogie. I've been having more boogie breaks than ever. I've been enjoying hot baths with specific bath soaks to take stress from my body. And I've been mindful of what I've ingested. I've been trying to focus on eating clean, but Popeye's chicken will call you a girl. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like a 3-piece and a biscuit. But allow me to digress. I have been enjoying the simple pleasures in life, taking each moment in and enjoying it as it comes, intentionally finding joy in my journey, and spending a whole lot more time with my family and friends. I'm so glad that there's more warmth and sun outside, because it's kind of like all of this has happened to us as a country and as a global collective during the dark, basically. Daylight savings time happened after all of this, where so many people suffer from vitamin D deficiency because of the lack of sunlight. Marisol mentioned it earlier. You get the winter blues because you can't go outside and frolic like you want to frolic. The winter was like, what is this? A political Game of Thrones. That's the thought I had. It's like I'm living a political Game of Thrones. But now I feel like we're moving towards a season where the dark winter is over. And we have a greater opportunity individually to go outside and let our little light shine.
Oh, yeah.
We really are a joy tsunami. And before I get up off here and toss the mic back to you, Karen, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Did y'all know that Marisol used to be a b-boy dancer?
Oh my God!
No, didn't know that. That's wow.
Listen,
I feel like that's a
my
mic
alter
drop and a
ego.
shot
That was my
fired.
alter ego out on the dance floor.
Listen, that's a fun fact about Marisol, y'all. I'm sorry, Marisol, I put your business out in the street. But anybody who knows, look, you my boogie partner, because anybody who knows me knows I'm a boogie. Okay. Yeah. So I appreciate your b-boy styling, sister. You are a joy tsunami every single time you dance. Come on, Karen, get me off here. I'm putting myself.
Put yourself on mute. Yes. I mean, it's out there. It's out there. So now we know, Jackie, right after karaoke, we gonna get the dance lessons in for real. So we gonna be ready. That is a fun fact. No, I did not know that, Tilted. And I feel like, Marisol, you might need to say something to that. Tell us a little bit more about your b-boy history.
Oh my God, we had such a blast. I think, dancing is the best way to relieve your stress, leave it all on the dance floor, release that energy, like Rhonda says. And it was just a blast. We let it all out there that night. So yeah, so back in the day, I was part of like a little B-girl thing, And so the music got into my system, and I was like, oh man, is that? And I was like, oh, that was
I have evidence, y'all. I have evidence.
Oh my goodness.
It took her back. Wow.
Oh God, it took me so back that the DJ came out the booth later, came to our table. It was like, oh, now you was rocking it. I was like, oh my God.
He was watching.
I was so embarrassed after, but I had a good time, and that's it. Let the sweat out, let all the toxins out.
Exercise,
right? We have fun.
Yeah.
I know him and Shelby were laughing at us, but I don't think they were laughing at us. I think they would just have, having fun that we were having fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You would have thought we were like in a crowded arena with a whole audience watching us perform.
Oh my God. And Nikita has these moves. Girl, I was watching you. Hips don't lie, girl. They don't lie. I videotaped. It was like we had our own music MTV video going on. Okay.
I love it.
Me with the drums.
Yeah, it was such a good time.
I love it.
Release the rhythm. Release the. Oh, I'm sorry, Beyonce, Cowboy
Yeah,
Carter.
yeah. Oh, remember? Release. And then so we made up this new dance called the Shelby.
The Shelby.
Oh,
Do you see it? It's like, yeah. It's like,
oh yeah, I'm getting my chair Shelby on.
All the way back.
now we got dance moves.
Oh my God.
I love the chair dance hustle. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
They got names. They got a name to the dance too, Karen. There's a name to the dance. The Shelby.
Oh, it's called the
Yes.
Shelby.
Oh,
Oh yes. Oh yes. It
What
was
we
a
gonna do?
magical evening. I think it would go down in
Yeah.
history.
Uh-huh.
What we gonna do? Well, I'm going to, because I really want us to get into the next segment, right, and we got some time, but I'm gonna put on my DJ hat real quick so that when we come back after this musical break, y'all know we gonna get into the what's really going on, right? But as always, I get super excited on my time being DJ. And today, this was a jam that it was like, you know what? I ain't heard that one in a while. You know how you got to pull some things out of the crate, but it's also the messaging behind it, because we are pulling a cut from our friend and partner Bertie McKinney, right? And it's Never Leave. And some of us have heard it. It might be new for some of our audience members, but the messaging behind it, this is one way that I keep positivity, and that is turning the music up loud, reminding myself of the message that I am not by myself, and at any given time, right, I could put on a different hat and DJ Cash is gonna rock it all the way out. So we're sharing with you, Never Leave.
Problems in my life, things ain't going right. Had to move with faith, I can't go by sight. Take me by my hand when things are going crazy. Said you never leave and you won't forsake me. Hey. Problems in my life, things ain't going right. Had to move with faith, I can't go by sight. Take me by my hand when things are going crazy. Said you never leave and you won't forsake me.
God will never leave, he got my back like a chiropractor. Bit of his skin, I'm like a circuit tractor. OG pilot, pterodactyl. Woo. Yes, I am dynamic. I got God protecting me, so there's no need to panic. Advantage, I laid it at his feet and the haters can't understand it. Let me get specific, they wear the salty like the Atlantic. Barracudas and sharks, I'm trying to drown the kid. Guess what, this kid can swim, but I really don't have to swim. You're the one I follow, never ever seen his feet get wet. Never seen his feet submerged. To the fish, he stand up very high, looking just like a bird. To the fish, he stand up very high, looking just like a bird.
Problems in my life, things ain't going right. Had to move with faith, I can't go by sight. Take me by my hand when things are going crazy. Said you never leave and you won't forsake me. Hey. Problems in my life, things ain't going right. Had to move with faith, I can't go by sight. Take me by my hand when things are going crazy. Said you never leave and you won't forsake me. First off, man, I trust God. Patient, never rush God. Going hard, he's a tough guy. Miracles, that's just God. Enemies can't touch God. Can't silence or hush God. Can't complain, I won't fuss God. You came through with the clutch God. Sovereign and you reign. Stay the same, you don't change God. Because of you, I gain. My enemies get slain. Come on, you say so and there's overflow. You show me the way I'm supposed to go. Without you, I can't grow. So I lay low and stay close. I follow your lead and all. Forever need it all. Your grace, I received it all. And never need it all. I follow your lead, of course. Every need, of course. Your grace I receive, of course. You never leave, of course. Problems in my life, things ain't going right. Had to move with faith, I can't go by sight. Take me by my hand when things are going crazy. Said you never leave and you won't forsake me. Hey. Problems in my life, things ain't going right. Had to move with faith, I can't go by sight. Take me by my hand when things are going crazy. Said you never leave and you won't forsake me.
All right. We reminded what? He'll never leave us. That part right there. So whatever you go, whatever you are experiencing, turn some of that stuff off and turn the brightness up. Get some light in your life and remind yourself. Wow. Thank you to those who are still along this ride with us, our replay viewers. We are so appreciative of your support, of you continuing to come on back to be a part of the ride. Make sure you are commenting and a part of our comment streets. I love it because, a lot of our comment streets, we on the camera right now. So now we're gonna get into that segment, right? That we just really love. Okay, maybe it's just me. All right. I
We
got my
got
water.
Liv here live tonight.
I know.
He could spit the remix live.
Uh-oh.
Look,
You know, I
look
always
at
got
y'all.
something that just pop in my head.
Look at y'all trying to put me on blast right now.
Listen, listen, I be dropping them bars like I wrote them, Liv. Thank you so much for putting that sauce.
And on the replay. On the replay. So you, Jackie, you might have to stay unmuted and you know help out with the remix. But here we go.
Oh my God.
What's really going on? What's really going on?
Yeah, acting hot.
What's really going on?
What's really going on?
What's really going on?
I just want to harmonize. I
No.
want to say, what's really going on? I only want to do that part.
What's
Trying to take us to halos is kind of tilted. Foundation is strong because
Jehovah built
you can
it.
feel the energy. What?
Hey,
You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Plus, she said something we like to talking with family. Yeah.
hey. What? Thank y'all for the whole remix.
Yeah, that was kind of ghetto. But we get it right next time.
My bad, you caught me off guard.
It won't be a surprise next time, right?
Nah, what it is, I've been wrote so many songs that I be having too many different lyrics in my head that I be having to rehearse. That's really what it be.
We respect that for sure. Listen, we getting into the what's really going on, and it made me feel a little bit like Views from the Petty Pew too when we get into it, right? Because we got a couple of we got a couple of things to talk about, right? So I'm gonna start us, and we're gonna get into a couple of things as I mentioned, but I'm gonna start us off with our brother Deacon Shannon Sharp. I said Deacon, yes I did. I said Deacon Shannon Sharp.
Deacon.
I say Deacon because I promise I'm only halfway keeping up with my brother, because he was in the news for one thing, and then we turn around and it's something else, right? And for many of us, we may or may not remember he's had a lot of guests on his show, right? And sometimes we reminded that there's a warning before a fall, right? So and I'm trying to do it in a non-judgy way, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be, right? Because I just recall a couple of the guests. So for those of you who don't know the story, Shannon is in a little bit of a hot water because he got into it with a much younger young lady. Yes, everybody is of age, legal age speaking, maturity, they might be the same age, but it is what it is. But as I started reading the headlines, the thing that came to me was I remember Evangelist Monique coming in, and she had said, leave that young tail alone, from Chronicles 14 verse 4. Leave that young tail alone. It's a thing, right? That we and I said it before we came live. I'm just happy that there was no internet, right? There was none of these platforms when I was in my 20s, right? And so I'm not saying my background is any different than some of the other people. We all got something to write about, right? We got something to give them to talk about. But I wanted to hear from the tribe, to hear what advice or comments might we have as we have now put our Deacon Shannon on the sick and shut-in list until all of the smoke cleared?
I'm actually disappointed in him. I was so disappointed. That was my first reaction, because I think he's funny and I thought he was smart. Well, obviously that goes, that's a big question mark now. And so I was like, dang, why? I thought you was funny and you had it going on with your shows and everything. So first I was just disappointed, and then the rest I didn't even want to say.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, dude, with all the women in the world, really? And you got money, you got the money, you got this, you got so many beautiful things going for you, and that's what you choose to do it with. And then so nah. I didn't even feel sorry for him because Auntie did warn him, you know.
No, it was so hard. What's
Go
his
ahead.
name? No, who else warned him? It was
The other guy, the short guy,
Cat Williams. Cat Williams.
yes. So it was
Prophet
two
Cat.
women.
Prophet
Yeah,
Cat.
yeah, you just don't cross that line, you know. That's a line he crossed. That I have a daughter, so I would have took that to a different level, you know.
Right.
It's just you don't do stuff like that. And what you have in common, you know, that's a kid. You're a grown man. Like, come
Like
on now.
literally, the next stop is AARP. He probably already did, but that's another story.
No, they're
But
afraid of getting old. Some people are afraid of getting old,
They
and so
are.
they think they hold on to this young person that is gonna bring them like a youth potion. He should have watched, you know, like I don't know. There's no potions for youth, you know.
So now, Jackie, I see your face, so I'm gonna let you comment. But I also I'm gonna put the question out there, right? What is your age bracket? Right, and I'll say it because Alfred right on the line. You hear me? On the line.
I think 10 years is the limit.
10 years
should
is
be
my
the
limit. So 10
10 years
years
should be the limit.
That's
10
my
years.
limit. But I know that's not the same for everybody.
But it's okay. I mean, I can't judge. You know, what you
would you entertain a larger age bracket?
Well, okay. The question is, in which direction, right?
Right. Okay.
That's the question.
Because we up here, right? I ain't putting everybody in my bracket, but you know, we kind of up here. So the question is, in which direction, right?
That's a fair question.
You know, like for me, like I can go 10 up, you know, good 10 up. I like a good 10 up. That's usually when it comes. And you know, it's funny because y'all gonna see me and my daughter talk about too much, but I swear we do. We talk about everything, literally. We was in the car dropping my son off, right? And she brought it up. She brought up the age gap or whatever in regards to a different situation where it was a 19-year-old, and I think they started dating when the guy was 34, and she was like, "Oh, that's crazy! Like you know, you dating like it's giving pedophile, so on and so forth." And I said, you know, and it really comes down, and this is what I told her. I said, well, you really have to consider the maturity level of the two persons involved, right? So you could have someone who's very young, who is very mature for their age, and mentally they are on a level, you know, beyond their years. At the same time, you could have someone who is of a certain age and mentally they ain't get there yet. Like their age is moving and their mental and their emotional maturity ain't going nowhere.
Hello, we're seeing it right now.
You have people that are like that end up together because mentally they all the same age, right? And that happens for a variety of reasons. So as for me and my house, though, you know, I don't strive to rob nobody's cradles, you know. I don't set out to rob no cradles, right?
I don't set out.
But you know, it happens. You know, it happens out here. But as far as Shannon goes, like you know, my whole thing with him is, and I don't know if this is appropriate for the platform or whatever. But you know, when you got a track record of doing certain things and dealing with certain folks and things, like you can't be upset when you know it's time to pay to cash in, pay the bill, you know, and you've been doing this for a while now, so you should know, looking at history, that it ain't a good track record of doing that for us folks. So if that's what you're doing, that's the sandbox you want to play in, then you're gonna get sand in your shoe, and here you are trying to shake it out. So that's all I got to say about that.
We shaking out the sand. We shaking out the sand.
You playing in that sandbox, that's what's gonna happen.
That's it. All right, Believe, I'm putting you on blast. What's your age bracket?
Hold up. I got a whole lot to say about the whole sand and salt situation. I was just letting everybody cook first. Now, do I personally agree with what he did? No. But at the same time, I do have to say this for all the fellas out there listening. There's a lady named Tracy Ellis Ross,
Right.
Diana Ross's daughter, who brags about dating younger men, and she's in her 50s. And when you have a person like her bragging about dating younger men, you got everybody like, yeah, go girl, do you girl, do your thing.
Cool girl.
But if a man does it, then people want to say, oh my goodness, he's a predator, he's immature. He's first of all, should nobody be dating somebody that much younger than him, man or woman? I'm gonna say it just like that.
I agree with him.
And as far as with the whole Shannon thing, there was some accusations that he was a funny boy. I don't know if y'all know that. A funny boy. So therefore, what he did was he went live by quote unquote accident with him performing with a lady. Right. And then now he has another situation with him and another lady. So I don't know if Shay is trying to get those accusations to go away, or if he's just likes to entertain the people that like to be in his face.
But you know,
but as far as me,
share.
Exactly, you gotta share. Yeah, so
a younger guy.
It's not just him. It's wrong either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me personally, I think the youngest person I ever talked to, and that was weird. They were, I want to say, like 8 or 9 years younger than me at the time, and we didn't really mesh too well, because if I start talking about a cartoon or a certain movie or something, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Dinosaur.
You know what I mean? I start talking about some He-Man and She-Ra, and you don't know what I'm talking about.
They don't know what it is.
Or some Thundercats, you know what I'm saying? G.I. Joe transform, and you're like, what is that now? And you want to talk about what? Chowder or some Blues Clues or something? Nah. We just can't do it.
That's funny.
That's all I got to say on the matter.
No Blues Clues.
But you know, some of these girls, don't you think that they do it? They do it for the money. It's not all the time. What a 26-year-old got in common with a grandpa?
You already know what they have in common. There's only one thing.
Exactly.
But it ain't just the money.
Yeah, but that's why I said too. I'm trying to be discreet over here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Things and that's a fact. And you know, a lot of, and I'm joking about it, but a lot of this is the public portion of this, right? I'm on so-and-so's arm, I'm dating so-and-so, and what are the doors that I expected to be open by association, right? So if I'm kicking it with you, and we do that in our everyday lives, right? Even in our relationships, that's mutual. It's like, all right, well, what you bringing over here? Well, I'm bringing this. What you bringing that? There's a level of this that makes sense, and then there's a level of so what are you really trying to dig into? Like I admit, for me, less about whether it was a sexual preference or not, but I did think that a lot of this publicity around what your personal life is and putting it out there, like for the folks who really doing what they want to do, you don't know what they doing. You don't know. Like certain people, we wouldn't know whether they're one way or this way, what their sexual preferences are, what their age brackets are, because they keep that stuff separate from their public persona. And so when it comes out in the open, that I agree with Brother Bliv, like it's like, what's your reasoning for allowing this stuff to be put out there? Because at the end of the day, everything got a price tag. Somebody must have said, no, I'm not giving you a dime, because I'm sure the ransom questions came before we all found out.
Oh, yeah, before the exposure. They was like, hello?
That part. And
hello,
so
can you hear me?
That part. So it's like, we know that people are coming in this a lot of times for the money. They're coming in for lifestyle. They're coming in for influence so that they could get to the next level of whatever it is they're trying to do. Rhonda, You got anything to add to the
And
Sharp
the
conversation?
only thing that I can say, because at first I was thinking, was he under the influence? What was going on? Then I was like, you know what? Keep scrolling. But it is a behavior in Hollywood. It is a behavior when you reach a certain status, you join those parties, those clubs, and this is what you do. So to them, this is acceptable behavior. But then on the other hand, it depends on who's doing it. Because I don't know if you remember Woody Allen. Woody
Right.
Allen.
Ew, that was a gross test
Exactly.
situation.
And that was a stepdaughter. So you
Adopted
tell
daughter.
me it's accepted in some manner, but then not accepted. I just think it's horrible. In any case, it is just horrible. Like Bliv said, I just think it's horrible. And Marsal, it's not they're not cougars anymore. After you reach a certain age, you're a
It's
thundercat.
Thundercats.
Yep. So they're thundercats.
Babe, I'm
So
I was not
I-
aware. I was not aware.
Yes.
I'm here for it. I love it.
I said I'm your
You're a
Thundercat.
Thundercat now.
You
Whoa,
say
you're a
me.
Thundercat. After a certain age, you're a Thundercat. So I personally, yes, you can see all the young candy, all the eye candy all over the place. But the first thing I'm thinking, you could be my son. And I've told young men that before. Because when I get approached, I always say, I could be your mother. No, I'm not entertaining.
My first
any
word
kind
is,
of
"Hey,
conversation.
nephew."
Exactly.
My
That's
son.
all for
My
real.
son, I'm not entertaining that
For
kind
real.
of behavior because no, I wouldn't like that to be placed upon my daughter or my son. So I'm
Right.
not entertaining it. I
Right.
can't do that. I can't. Yeah. So that's
And
all I
then
have to say about that. Huh?
And then wouldn't it be like if you're dating someone that's like that big of an age difference? It's like that's your kid.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah.
that's
I
how
don't
I
get.
look at it. You
Yep.
could be my kid, and my daughter's the same age. What am I telling my daughter? So I
Right.
can never. I don't think it mentally. I will be okay with that. I don't think I could be okay with that mentally because to me it's not right. To me, it is not right. Like they've said, we're having conversations. I'm laughing at a joke. You can't laugh with me. I can't hang with the things that you do, and I'm not
Right.
trying to stay young. I
It's
believe
Right.
true.
take
Or
the
if you
joy
hang out with them
agent.
and they can't even keep up with you, they need like a
No.
wheelchair or something. Like you're gonna be a hospice wife. Like what's going on here, brother?
What's really going on?
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Yes. So that's what I
Definitely
did.
appreciate hearing the perspectives. Listen, I think that's why we tribe mates because we really have some similar viewpoints when it comes to how we are hopeful to be representing out here in these streets. Yeah, you on the sick and shut in list, Deacon Sharp. We still gonna be lifting you up in prayer. We hope it all work out. That's all we got to say on that. We hope it work on. So listen, we got a chug, and I know we don't have a lot of football heads here, right? But y'all know that well, first of all, Super Bowl is my favorite holiday. Y'all know Super Bowl, my favorite holiday. So that means that my pregame is now with the NFL draft, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit about we saw a lot of good things, a lot of goofy things going on. But one of the things that made the headline was Deion Sanders and his sons. I don't even know, a road to the draft. I guess we could say it that way, right? And so I wanted to present it because the way that this was spun, and I don't know what the full portion of what is truth versus fiction. So let me say that as a disclaimer. I'm still fact checking myself on some of the foolishness that I have heard. And I hope that it's fiction, but it's leaning toward that it might be fact. So knowing, you know, Bliv, when you said somebody who would be old enough to understand the legacy that Deion Sanders came with, right? Like you got to be in our age bracket to know who Primetime was, to understand everything that he brought to the football field. And now next generation, whether because now he got two sons in there, but whether the one son was meeting expectations or not. Bliv, I'm gonna shoot it to you first. What's your thoughts on the entire draft pick that happened to that, and the possible, I'm gonna call it a shutout, of whether that was something. Do you think it's any credibility to that statement of having the Saunders shutout?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind was, okay, you had Eli Manning. Eli Manning's dad said that if Eli gets drafted to a team that they don't want him to play for, that he's not going to play. So Deion Sanders pretty much took that same mentality with his son Shador and was pretty much saying, oh, I don't want him to go here. I don't want him to go there. So that may have caused something to do with teams maybe boycotting and not wanting to pick him. But a lot of it might also come from the arrogance from both of them. Because they are very arrogant, but if you know anything about primetime, that's just how he was. One of the best athletes to ever do it in football and baseball. He was a multi-talented athlete. Right, so, of course, his kids are going to get some of that. Do I still think that there might have been a political play, even though I don't like talking politics? Pretty much I feel like they blackballed him because of the arrogance. And then he ended up going to the team that was probably going to pick him up in the first place. But now he got spanked, and you lose out on millions and millions of dollars. And then they didn't even draft his other son. Well, Shiloh, he ended up getting picked up.
Tampa
one
Bay.
of those.
Yeah,
after the draft.
Yeah.
But I mean, the first thing people will say is, okay, well, the Mannings got away with it. Well, how come the Sanders can't get away with it? And, I don't like to play the race card, so I'll just say maybe it was a personality thing. Maybe he was just going in there, messing up interviews and being like overly arrogant. I don't know. I wasn't in there. It looks bad. And then real quick, when everybody said, oh, well, they prank called him. Why were they prank calling him, making fun of him, acting like he's going to get drafted? That happened before last year with Cooper DeJean for the Eagles. So sometimes people are just silly and like the prank call. So I'm not going to get onto that whole prank call thing. But it does look weird that the Mannings could get away with it, but the Sanders can't.
Right.
But maybe the NFL was just trying to teach everybody a lesson, like just be appreciative to where you get drafted.
Right.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it was wrong.
G, you want to add something to that?
I was hoping he came to the. I'm a Giant fan, so I was hoping he came to the Giants. Though we stacked up, we all right, but we needed a quarterback like that. I felt so bad, I like what he said. I felt like they blackballed him. They did him wrong, and they should have. He was worth that money, and to go and get picked for the team they should have picked him in the first place,
Yeah.
That's what they do, and that's not right, that's my opinion, I felt real bad for the dude, and prime time, he's the man, so his son I thought he was gonna be picked in one of the first, but he didn't, so I felt bad. That's
I was upset in here because I said, why is it a problem? I felt that. Why is it a problem when you want to give generational wealth to your children on one hand, and then on the other hand, it's okay over here to do the whole, and then why is it that over here is arrogance, but over here it's like, oh, they're just sharing their achievements and
leadership. They call it leadership.
That's where I have the problem. I'm like, dude, why is it called arrogance? That's number one, because you could brag on yourself, that, and then two, that, like, why is it that we can't say, I'm going to do this for my kid, I want him to go here, I want him to do there, and have the same generational wealth as the other set of group of people? Why is that? Yeah. Why is it so hard?
We always get mocked. That's why.
I feel like that, like oppressed.
Yeah. And I have thoughts on it, but Jackie,
and then like everybody should be grateful. Everybody like what Bliv said. Okay, maybe he was teaching them a lesson to be grateful, but why does it always have to be us that have to be taught that lesson of gratefulness,
right? Or like humility,
not us versus them, but you know what I'm saying. Why can't it be the standard across the board then? Then they make it such a big deal for this group and not such a big deal for this group.
Yep. Anything you want to add, Jackie?
Well, from a football stand, right? Right. Not just, just outside of the politics of it, right?
Okay.
Like I think that there's a lot that goes into, these draft picks, right?
Yeah.
Outside of just all the hype and stuff that the media gives to these players, right? So, they all go in there with their game plan. They knew what they was going to do before they got there, right? Like like while it's happening live, they already sat down and they made these decisions. And there's a lot I think that goes into that, outside of just, like I said, the politics. I mean, he's a good player. They know he's a good. They know his stats and all those things. But there's a lot that goes into that. They think about on the background, right? Like, what if we bring this guy in and he doesn't meet the hype, and we paid him all this money, and he come in here and he foul under pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of more thought goes into that than we want to think. Like I'm always thinking, like, it's not always just because they're not, regardless of what the media or what the narrative is behind it, they're not going to pass up an excellent quarterback, you know what I'm saying, just because we don't want to pay him, so on and so forth. So I think that more thought went into that than we give credit to, and that what we're seeing on the back end, it looks like something. And while that may be the case, right? Because they're like, don't overhype yourself. I think that there more went into the reason why he got picked so late in the draft, than than we really want. And that's just like straight football. Like they're not like a lot. Like I said, a lot goes into that, and the teams know what they need for their team. They're not going to put a quarterback in when they've got these somebody already doing the job, and now you got somebody riding the bench, paying them all this money, and you're not going to play them, right? So anyways, I just feel like there's a lot more that goes into that than we give credit for, and they got a lot of hype just based on who their father was. And again, I'm all about the generational wealth. I'm all about big up in your kids. I think that he's a great player. They're both good players and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that to take away from them. I just feel like there's a lot more thought that goes into it than we give credit for. So that's my take on it, right?
No,
at the same time, I'm not taking away from what Marisol said, because it's okay when we do it, when you do it, but it's a problem when I do it. That's definitely a thing sometimes.
Right. Is that code switch?
That's my take on it.
I appreciate it. It's that code switch, and the double standard is real, right? Because, and here's one of the things that I found very interesting is that fatherhood is not like generalized. Fatherhood is seen different by different cultures, and I think that our society just is not used to seeing strong fathers, right? We see it on the other side. We don't often see it on our side. And so even the definition, like I just remember, Tamara Hall had Dion on her show and was talking about, how he will use his expertise, like he knows what happens behind the curtain, and using that to not only open doors, but to know which one to push his son through, right? Like that's the thing. That's a huge thing in any industry. It doesn't have to be football. It could be whatever industry 101. We always talk about Beyonce and her opening the door for Blue Ivy. There's so many areas that we see this at. We see it with TD Jakes and Sarah Jakes Roberts. We're gonna get into that too. Why? Because we got time. But thinking about those things, they're opening the doors for their children, and there's a lot of naysayers because we haven't seen a lot of examples of fatherhood being represented with the literally father says, I know best, and I'm going to lead my family in this particular way. So when we see it more, it gives an opportunity. Yeah. Rhonda, anything to add to our football?
Although I don't watch it until the Super Bowl. But I do agree with what you said. And the fact is, if you've never seen a positive role model that looks like us, it is hard for you to understand where we're coming from. Like that narrative needs to change. And it's all part of cognitive behavior as well, because you're so in tune to seeing us one way. When you see us in a
Mhm.
different light, it is hard for you to understand. You think you, and as Marcel said, it's like we're overly this, but other people do it and it's normal for them, because we could
Mhm.
do a backflip on the field, and that might be disrespectful for somebody else. Another
Yeah,
person
yeah.
did a backflip.
Sure.
It's like, oh my God, he did that. And it always takes me back to the ice skater. I can't remember if her name was, but she was African American. Well, not African American. She was a black ice skater, and she did a flip on the ice. And
Mm-hmm.
it did
Mm-hmm.
not. She did not get a gold medal. Years after, people start doing flips and doing other things, and it was like one of the most amazing things, because it didn't come from us, because it wasn't expected.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a different expectation of us, you
Mhm.
rate us different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that
Mm-hmm.
type of behavior, mentally, it has to change. So until that learned behavior changes, we're gonna be still doing this over and over. So we're gonna expect our people to be one way, and other people expect us to be another way. So I said, like Jackie said, it could be more. There's a lot more, but in the rooms, who's making those decisions and what criteria are they looking at? So if we're not in that room making those decisions, then it's
Mhm.
always going to look different to us.
Right.
Mhm.
I
Right.
love.
Mhm.
I appreciate you sharing that, because that
Mhm.
is a huge portion of it. So we're gonna chug, right? I gave a little bit of snippet. So over the weekend, we saw the passing of the baton from Bishop T.D. Jakes, that he is now putting both Sarah Jakes Roberts and Teray Roberts, pastors, into the headship and leadership over the Potter's house. And it's interesting because I think we had a lot of big to do when the daughter was mantled in a different way in ministry for some other assignments. But now it's sort of like they had piecemealed it for a while, and now he has relinquished the full keys. Now we know Bishop Jakes has been at the forefront of the Potter's house powerhouse over decades now, right? But I wonder what's the thought. Is there excitement around it? What things are we putting on the prayer list as Sarah Jakes Roberts and Teray Roberts are leading the helm for the Potter's house? Rhonda, I'm gonna swing it back to you since you already there.
I just said that both of them, because they know what happened, that both of them need to keep focus. And if it is the Lord they're serving, serve the Lord the way that it was meant to be served.
That's right.
And that's all I have to say about that, because these mega churches, they do well in the community. They really do. I've been looking at a lot of churches and I see how well they do. But then the church folks, when you come across some of these church folks, it's just the way they treat you. And then you have to look at leadership. So as long as he gives them the tools to lead and lead the right way, I don't see anything wrong. I really don't see anything wrong, as long as they have the tools.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Mhm.
Jackie?
Mhm.
I'm going to ditto Rhonda on that. I think that it was, I mean, just bare fact, like, just elephant in the room. I think it was a very strategic move based on everything that's kind of going around. So it was for good reason. But at the same time, listen, she's young. She's young. I know she's younger than me. But I think that spiritually, if he felt like he passed that man along, even with our kids, it doesn't matter. Like, if we feel like they're ready for a certain responsibility, we know them well enough and we're going to pass it on to them. And I think that's what he's doing. And again, it's strategic, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Um, and she been in it, she been doing this her whole life. So she ain't new to this, she true to this. So I
Mhm.
pray and I wish her all the best in it, right? And we'll see, we'll see how it goes. But sometimes it's that time,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's time to do something new. It's time to, I've been down to the Potter's house, and it was a great. I've been there a few times. It's a great experience. But it's sometimes it's time to do something fresh and something new, and all the best. It can, I, it can, there's so much opportunity there to grow. So all the best to them. That's 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 all I got for it.
That's all, G.
I feel the same. I love the way she preaches. She's a powerhouse, Um,
Absolutely.
whatever's going on with the dad and all that, I think too that is strategic. I think this is the perfect time, actually, if that's gonna go, it has to be that way. And that's what we do. We pass the torch to our kids.
Yeah.
She's ready.
So I think she's ready. She's been doing it for a long time. She has a story and a half, like her life, regardless who her father is, she has her own story.
Yeah.
And so I think that, she'll do very well. And a new set, a new way of doing things, a new. And we need women leadership sometimes like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good point. Good points. Bliv, how about you, bro?
I really can't say anything different than what's already been touched on. I just feel like as long as what they're preaching about comes from the Bible and they can back it up with scripture, then I'm with it. That's it.
Good stuff.
And the good, that the money goes to where it's supposed to go to,
Yeah. Yep, yeah.
And
And
then-
they have a good, I'm gonna say they've got a good powerhouse when it comes to that, right? Like a good model. And I know they back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but back in the day they used to do the church leaders conference, right? So not just the conferences for people coming, but training people on how to lead different ministries. So a lot of fun facts that kind of come with that. So I appreciate all the nice words and whatnot, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents. Y'all already know, right, Jackie?
Go ahead.
No, right. I believe that she will do well. I think my concern is whether that particular church establishment, I don't know how you conglomerate, like Potter's House, they got a couple of things. Are they ready for a woman to lead them? Right? Like, I know everything else strategic. Bishop said, "This who I chose." Is everybody staying? Because
Right. It's gonna be some uncertainty there now. It's gonna
different voices,
rock the boat.
And it is. It's like it's what people expected in the sense of they pass it off to Sarah, who she's been doing a lot for decades now. Like when we think about how long it's been, but there are certain of our church houses we cute for Women's Day. We cute for women's ministry. And so my thought is the establishment ready for women's leadership? And I lean to Bliv what you said about the preaching, right? Being grounded in the word and good sound teaching. But a lot of times when there's a long-standing established house, somebody's got to pave the way to make it ready for the voices of not men to be heard. Tilted, you quiet. I gotta check in, make sure you ain't falling.
I'm over here working on a project. Okay,
I think if they respect
but I'm listening, and you done tagged me in on this conversation about the succession that happened on this last weekend. I'm grateful that you brought to the conversation, is the establishment ready for a woman to lead them? The political establishment already showed up at the polls and showed us what they was thinking about women leadership. So now we see what's happening in the natural lining up with what's happening in the spiritual. Potter's House has been a major entity in the world of Christendom for quite some time. So now we have this young woman who has this testimony, who absolutely has a word in her mouth for the generations. So that's my concern with everything in the world changing all around us. We've heard it spoken in so many different circles that the church might need to change to impact a generation who hasn't been churched or who wants to be able to practice their faith in a way that's not so uptight and traditional. You know, we love Sarah Jakes because she comes to the pulpit looking like she stepped off of 5 different one ways before she got to her sermon notes. Sister Girl is bad to the bone. And I know personally, even though I am an elder to her, shout out to the rich aunties, though I'm an elder to her, I can relate to her story because her story is part and pieces of mine. So, how many people in the world of Christendom are willing to take off their mask the way that Sarah Jakes does boldly every single Sunday and say, hey, maybe the way I've been practicing my faith to this point in life could use a little chipotle sauce named Sarah Jakes. You know, put a little, garlic aioli. You know what I'm saying? It could use a little something different to take us into the next level of what we getting ready to walk through as a faith community. We always dabble in the world of artificial intelligence here on the platform. We dabble with website building, online editing, and digital creation. All of this has an impact on the way the younger generation is thinking and what they're bringing to the table when they come into the service. I'll use a perfect example. It's a few apps out there now. I remember when the first one came out. Now it's about 11 of them. It's apps out there now where you don't even have to hire a church musician.
That's true.
You can simply download the app and push a button and you're going to get somebody hooping, hyping the preacher from the button, or you're going to get the shout break and whatever key you want. It's already all preloaded. So is the church ready for this change? Is the Potter's house, because they're global. They're not just in one location. Have they, like you all said, have they been groomed behind the scenes, especially in those who sit in leadership capacity? Have they been groomed to support a woman? Have they, throughout that fleece and ask God to reveal those who weren't true to the mission and to the vision of the Potter's house moving forward into the next millennium? Because 25, we in 2025, we just finished the first quarter. We got 75 to go. We got 75 to go.
Yeah.
I have a question. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to unpack. And I don't want to take up the rest of the show for real.
Well, we appreciate you coming off of mute and adding your perspective to everything that's going on and a lot of different things to keep our eyes on, right? Because so fun fact, right? I'm down here and my current place of worship used to be pastored by Cheryl Brady, who is one of the pastors under the Potter House umbrella. I think she's now in Dallas. And y'all know already, okay? When she left, these church folks be following pastors sometimes and not Jesus. And so I say what I say.
That's true.
It's true. Yeah.
But I have heard the stories about how my current pastor calls them the Dirty 30. They went from a couple of hundred members down to only 30 people after that transition happened. And it wasn't anything bad that happened. She just had an opportunity to go and pastor another flock. And the people were like, well, I don't know you. You ain't going to pastor me. y'all go ahead on and do. And so everybody found a home. All a couple of hundred of them found a home. But then, when that effect comes of when a name leaves and people are pastor followers more than Christ followers, how does that impact some of these church homes? And so they doing all right now, right? Everything is everything, and I know that the relationships have continued to be built, but church folk be fickle sometimes, right? And when they see those shifts, and so we got to be mindful to always be letting folks know, listen, it's not about the edifice, it's not about particularly the people in it. If we're here to do a work under the premise of we're trusting God, we're believing God for what it is that He's doing, then it'll turn into something else. It'll turn into something else. All right. So listen, the time is going away. This is like the fastest time in the world when we get together. But I wanted to circle back around specifically to talk about what projects you all have coming up that you can share. I know certain things y'all still in the works, negotiation, contracts, all of that. I love it and I am here for it. But I wanted to give a chance to for each of us to talk about where folks gonna find me, and I'm a start, right? Because me and Jackie, I'm putting you on blast. So if your schedule changes too late, because we about to make it internet official. But we gonna be on red carpets, me and Jackie, this weekend, right? Yes, as we celebrate and represent the Tilted Halo Tribe brand at NEPA that's coming up this weekend. If you didn't get your tickets, I truly do not know what to tell you, because I think we just about, if not, are almost sold out. But Saturday, May 3rd, we're going to be in the house for season 2 of NEPA that's coming up. Y'all go over there to Eventbrite or wherever it is and make sure. And the itineraries will be coming out very, very soon for the tribe folks, so everybody know where folks will be. Yes, I'm going to be in the vicinity, switching up zip codes. Pray for the husband while I'm okay, so he don't lose his mind. But as we're doing that, we are also representing not just the Tilted Halo brand, but all of our tribe members, and to be able to chop it up with our folks on sponsoring this particular event with what do we want to call it, the highlight on the fashion renaissance. And that is so like whatever your interpretation of the fashion renaissance is. So we excited to get ready to see whatever. We're not even sure, but me and Jackie, we're gonna try to act right. We promise we're gonna represent us well, but there shall be shenanigans on high, and I'm excited for it. I don't think nobody gonna need bail money, but y'all make sure we get home in one piece, right? And so we're excited about that. I know on my side, we are working, husband and I are working on some particular ventures. We had the opportunity to celebrate him and his book signings, and he's literally going all around with all of the book signing. I reminded him he's down there right now signing books. So that's all I got to say on that. He is signing books this weekend. I was like, here go the names. You make sure you get at it, because if I show up without your book, I ain't really sure what it's gonna be. So we taking that in effect as well, and just building and growing over here. All right, I'm passing the baton. Jackie, you want to add anything, or you good?
I'm good. I that was great, because I'm really excited about that. Like I can't wait. I like showing off. So y'all know, y'all give me a microphone, it's a problem. So let's go. I'm ready.
Here we go. Rhonda, what you got going on?
I am still tweaking my website. It's up and running, bbmindovermatter.com, and working on some workshops. I probably will get the opportunity to work with a group to do my self-care and wellness workshop with some young kids. So hopefully we can get that going, and still updating my book here and there. And that is about it, I believe. And I will be at NEPA on Saturday as well, be modeling for a couple of designers. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Trying to get the work week out first and focus on putting those heels on and strut it down for, I don't know. I'm not going to say the last time, but just strut it down again. And
There you
that's
go.
about
Love
it.
it, love it, love
Yeah.
it.
And I'm one of those people waiting for that signed copy of a book too. So
Yeah. I promise. I already told. I was like, Rhonda gonna be a problem if I don't have her book. So if you could
yeah,
just,
tell him that you're not gonna come back. I'll Kim, not you here.
I let him know that's my ransom.
Yeah.
He already like my wife is leaving
God.
me. Like my wife is leaving me. I'm not leaving you. All right. I'm leaving and I'm coming back. Stop it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Marisol, what's going on in your world?
Oh my goodness, so many good things. So, and this is the crazy thing about life. So during COVID, I actually did so well during COVID, and I'm sorry that some of the people that didn't, and it feels like that again. I feels like so many bad things are going on, but that's not the case over here. Like Jackie said, God takes care of us, and I'm one of those people that I'm gonna stay focused then.
Yeah, we focus.
And I have my sidekick over here that he helps me get focused. So I developed my website. I'm so excited. I'm gonna launch it May 1st to just give it a little bit of time to go over a couple of things. But I'm really excited about that because it was a doozy to get it done, but it is getting there. It's coming along really, really nice. And then I got asked to be a columnist for Stay Magazine. She is an awesome, awesome powerhouse in New Jersey, Montclair, New Jersey, and all the surrounding areas, all the way down. I think she's got some of her work in Carolinas and all that. She's a crochet queen, and she has models, and she's been in the industry at least for over 30 years, and she has her own magazine. So I was a guest columnist last June. And God always, I don't know, he's just like my bestie too. I just say, keep it to myself. I pray about it, and then it just comes. It just comes. And so it came this time. So now I will be a columnist in June for Stay Magazine. So I'm excited about that. And then and then my book. I'm still doing my book and my manuscript, and I had to put the landing page and this page and that and put everything together. Oh, it was crazy up in here, but I did it. Well, we did it. We did it because he got to deal with all the craziness that comes down. It's like, oh my God, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you do, while I'm here just hammering away on the keyboard, he'll help me out with everything. So that's what I've been up to. Just busy, building my brand, and then hanging out with my friends, my family. But that's what I've been up to. Just trying to build something that people could be proud of and look up to, be inspired by, maybe to help somebody. Just trying to live my life like it's golden. That's it. And I romanticize everything. So you have those two combinations, and you're gonna be good. So that's it. That's what we've been up to.
We can't hear you, Karen.
And I'm steady around here. Bliv, if you could tell the audience where again they'll be able to find you in June and just what projects you working on.
Only reason I started laughing is I don't even know the location. It's on the flyer, man. Yo, go check my socials. Go check my social medias.
Cedar Beach. Is it Cedar Beach? We got you.
Yeah.
Man, I was gonna say, I don't know. I'll just be there. So if y'all want to see Bliv Max perform, y'all be there too. As far as what I got going on, not too much of nothing musically right now. I'm always in the lab working on stuff. But if I don't like how something's sounding, I'll scratch a whole project. But like I had an artist I was working with, I didn't like the direction they wanted to take things in. Project's getting scratched, buddy. Sorry.
I hope they know before now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll tell you in a heartbeat. I mean, I've had artists mad at me before because I've taken them off songs or things of that nature. It happens. It's a part of the business. But yeah, so for everybody that wants to hear some New Bliv Mash, I got over 40 songs, man. Go play those.
Run them numbers up. There you go.
Run the numbers up. There's 40 songs. It's all positive, about the Lord and stuff. And then some of the songs in the beginning wasn't always about the Lord, but they were still positive. So I don't know if I'm in like a hiatus right now. Sometimes I just got to take a mental break because, I produce, I engineer, I'm the artist. Sometimes it's draining. The only thing I'm really upset about, because I don't even get upset often, is there was a song with me and Birdie that was supposed to make it on my last album, but there was a sample on the song that didn't clear. So I got this banging song with me and Birdie just sitting in the crates.
Can you add a different beat to it, or it won't go?
I already made another beat for it, but it just didn't give me the same impact that I kind of got. So maybe I'll go back and touch it up again, because that one, if anything, that one at least has to come out. But besides that, I don't know. I'm just going to take my time on my next project, do a show here and there. I actually said I wasn't going to do no shows this year. I was just going to rest because I did so many performances within the last couple of years that I just wanted some me time. But, it's all right to pop out every once in a while. But that's pretty much all I got going on.
That's a mouthful right there. All right, Tilted. We can't round out without hearing what you got going on, because I know, but the people don't know.
What am I doing? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Excited about NEPA this weekend. Your girl is actually making a more official return to the runway this weekend. At least in this model circle, I'm grateful for the opportunity to walk it out with my sisters and so many of my comrades in the community. Waiting for the charter for the National Council of Negro Women. I recently became a member of the Lehigh Valley chapter. So y'all know I'm like this in the cut. Like, what can we get into next? What can I get into next to be of service to the community that we serve? I'm just looking forward to life in general. And let me tell you, I got one thing that I'm very, 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 very excited about, y'all. Y'all want to know what it is?
What's that?
Of course.
I get to see my best friend in person this weekend. Get to see my best friend in person.
You're supposed to be doing this.
That's right. Listen, I always get excited when Karen is in the room with me. Y'all know what it is. Because what is the word you like to always bring to the forefront, Rhonda? She truly is my conduit for goal setting and success. So I'm just excited to spend the weekend with all of you. If you ain't doing nothing, pull up, Bliv. Pull up. What's the plot? What's the tribe without Bliv Mash? I'm just saying.
Right.
I need behind me, making me run the risk of getting kicked out the venue for laughing.
Lord.
Because that's what we do.
Y'all got a good track record going. I would say.
Just bring the gum. Just bring the gum.
No, it was the mix.
It was the mix. It was the Jackie mix.
Rhonda.
Look, no, turn the camera off.
We try to, we got to ease into that topic. We can't just, willy-nilly, because
Jackie wants some mints. Jackie, would you like some mints, Jackie?
I can't stand you, bro.
Hey, y'all would have had to be there. Y'all would have had to be there, y'all.
Yeah,
Wait till we get off there.
we
Wait till we
keep
get off
saying
there.
we're gonna have the official trial. We might have to do
That
that.
is hilarious. You
We have to
messing
do
with
that
her?
next time.
Messing with her with them. With them.
We're gonna have the official trial. I promise. We gonna do it so that
Yeah, we gotta
can,
have the whole tilted tribunal because we have to resolve this matter amongst the tribe. You know, we like to live in peace, and while we love each other as brother and sister, we just got to squash this one live. I want to do this live. But we've got to assemble of some jurors that are impartial.
Right.
I gotta tell y'all something real quick. I used to sleep with mints under my pillow when I was a young lad.
Why?
You said why?
Who asked? Don't ask that question.
Come on.
That was Marcel. That's a story. That's a whole other story.
That should be self-explanatory.
Sorry.
I'm not like
Jackie is what you're saying.
I'm a different person now. I'm a different person now.
You've grown.
We have all grown. We have also all grown since that October, November time frame as well. So moving us right along. Thanks, Rhonda.
Wait a minute. What
Say
did
that
you
again.
get in? You already told us what you getting into.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the clock.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the clock. And y'all know I stay hungry, right?
It's coming.
Y'all know I stay hungry, right? I need a word because like somebody was bullying me, Karen. I need a word. I need a word to help me look myself in the mirror. Karen, you know what it is that I need?
I'm gonna let you say it. I do know, but say it for the
I need
people.
a reflection of purpose. You like how I did that?
I like
a reflection of purpose. So check it out. I want to make sure you ain't got to rush through nothing. That's why I did what I did just then. I want you all to get ready. I got a little water to wash the meal down as I'm receiving it. But y'all get ready. Get ready for the reason why the tribe was assembled. Let me tell y'all about my best friend. She bad, y'all. And if you've been with us for any amount of time, you know I always share that she is better than me. And because she is better than me, I am better. So get ready to get better. After receiving yet another reflection of purpose from our very own in-house certified, y'all. It's official. She got papers, y'all. She's a master life coach, Coach Cash, Twisted Threads LLC. I got my drink ready. Let's go.
There we go. All right. So we're going to get right into it. We're not going to rush it, right? But there's a particular point. And today we want to remind you, clear the runway. Nice title, right? Seem real cute because that's what we're going to be doing all weekend, right? We clearing the runway, but why are we clearing the runway? So earlier today, you know, it's actually been on my mind that a lot of times we pray for things, right? And we like, Lord, send it, send a man, send the house, send the job, send all of the things. But we haven't cleared the runway to receive the thing that we've asked for, right? So single ladies, you might have to, I had to do this, so I'm going to admonish you to do the same. Clear that side of the bed off that all your clothes and your snacks be on. If you expecting the Lord to send you a man, at least make a space for him to sleep. Go ahead and get you some more hangers so that when I tell you Alfred ain't got no room in this house, we literally have to move so that he could get some room. Make some room. If it's the spouse that you're looking for, if it's that man or woman, make some room. Fellas, you can't have everything in the car and expect the lady to get in the car. So clean up the ride, shine it up, and make it right for the queen that you asking the Lord to bless you with. Go ahead and check on them bills. Clear the runway. Why? Because y'all talking about we want to be like lifetime fine and we want to go outside. Well, you cannot go outside. We got to prepare ourselves for the terrorist that's coming in 80 more days. I believe that's how long we got. We got about 80 more days before we get another round of the terrorists are coming. We ain't got to be scared because we've cleared the runway. We've made sure that our budgets are going to be 4-year friendly, no matter what it is. Clear the way for, you're saying, from we hear Marisol's journey about writing her book. She got to clear the runway. But here's the thing that I want to remind us as we're clearing the runway. Right now, when my best friend was saying all of those words and giving all of the accolades about how wonderful I am, you know what I had to do? Take it, take it, take it, take it. Many of us compliment, we shucking it, literally jiving. Nope, that wasn't for me. Nope, that wasn't for me. Let the people around you encourage your heart, because that will help you clear the runway for the big 747 size blessing that God has on the way for you. If we're so busy saying, no, not me, no, not me, you know that Wakanda forever, can't nothing land till you open those arms and let the space in for what it is that you've got. So what are we doing? We're clearing space for the things that we said. We are setting our mind and elevating to have a growth mindset about getting rid of things is not a loss if it is you making space. So whether it's making space for the shoes, for the clothes, for the house, for the job. And I promise you, I was in a service on Sunday and the pastor said, don't go to the new job thinking that you're not going to run smack dab into the same foolishness that you found at the last one. Make sure you are praying for a work environment that is conducive to where God is looking to send you. Why? Because you think Mary was bad over here. Woo, when you get Mary over there, you're going to be ready to throw her over the balcony. So you better be praying about every single next. We've heard a lot about wealth transfer. We've seen a lot about things operating differently that cause for us to operate differently. It starts with you. That means as you clear the runway, what are you making space? You're making space to have those conversations with your children about how they can show up in the world, right? We talked about family legacy all night in our own conversations with Jackie shared. Her and her daughter talk about everything. I'm like, oh, I need to get in on one of those conversations. Make sure you are imparting your goals, your thoughts, your morals to your children, to those people in your family. It doesn't mean that everything is going to stick, but they will not forget where mom and dad, where the auntie stand, where G-Ma stand on every portion of their lives. Clear the runway, y'all. Why? Because we are expecting more. You know what else happens after we clear the runway? Rhonda already know. Listen, because I'm here for the cake. Once we clear the runway, we get to have the full-on celebration, and the cake comes right then and there. That's your reflections of purpose for the day. Clear the runway, y'all. More is coming. Tilted, you asked for it.
And I receive it. Amen, amen, and amen. And as we're clearing the runways, you know, I'm making sure my feet right, because them shoes, you know, we got to keep our feet pretty. I'm part of the pretty feet gang. Amen. And as we're out here walking it out, you know, I got to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you sitting here on the platform with me. Y'all know, for each and every one of you, I am your biggest fan. And I think the person who takes the brunt of it more directly these days is actually Queen Rhonda. So at the top of the show, we didn't have a super fan shout out. So I'm going to take the time before I get into my just be moment to go and shout out Rhonda. Yeah, I'm going to talk about you all in your face. Let me tell you, you know, you got these friends that'll ride with you. I don't need no ride or die friends, because I promise you I ain't going to take none of us nowhere where we're going to put our lives in danger spiritually or physically. But I appreciate you, Rhonda, for your willingness to avail yourself to my whimsical way of just being like, hey, are you available tonight? And you look at your schedule and you find space and you show up with me. Not only do you show up with me, you show up for me. So thank you so much. And thank your husband as well for loaning you out to me, because he doesn't have to do it, but I'm so grateful that he does. It's a blessing for me to watch you shine, Rhonda, and how infectious your presence is with every single person you meet. You've arrived, honey. You have arrived, and your star is big and your star is bright. And I am grateful to have a front row seat to your rising. So yeah, super fan shout out this week is actually sitting amongst us right dead center. Queen Rhonda. I call her Royal Rhonda on the dead stage.
She does. She does walk in my office, and where's the royal one?
Yep, I don't even care about them other people. They already know what it is. That's my girl.
She does. She walks right in the office. It's the royal one.
I'm like, where's the queen? Where's Royal Rhonda? And I make no never minds about it. And you know, I got King Bliv, I got Queen Marisol, I got King G, I got Queen Jackie, and I got a Queen Karen with me. What does that make me? The Queen Ager in Chief here at Unhinged Live. You all are tuned into Unhinged Live. We are sitting in tonight. We're closing the show out with Tribe 2.0, and I just shouted out all of their names individually. Shout out to our tribe mate who's actually in recovery. Shout out to Yolanda Lucas on tonight. Yes. She recently had surgery. For those of you who keep up with her content on TikTok, she shares openly her testimony of overcoming plantar fasciitis. So now she's made the wise decision to relieve herself of daily pain, to go ahead and get that surgery done so she could be back on the dance floor 1-2 stepping with us with ease in no time flat. So we pray your quick, swift, not even quick, your swift recovery, and that you recover well. And while you recover, Yolanda, rest, not only in your body, but in your mind and in your spirit. Because again, as we see it happening and everything's just starting to intertwine, hey, we got to have it matching in the natural just as well as the spirit. So yeah, that's my my own little segue. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and just remind you all in the listening audience, thank you again to all of our replay viewers. I'm going to remind you all to continue to just be. Just be. Just be mindful of your purpose. You know, everything that happened to you to this point in your life has a purpose, whether it's been good, whether it's been bad. You know, listen, all I know is when I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I am blessed. It may sound a little churchy and it may seem a little cliche, but when we say that God does, he uses it all, I promise you, he uses it all. If he didn't use it all, Jackie may not have went on over there yonder and got that psychology degree. And having been equipped with the tools to minister to herself in her darkest days. Listen, God uses it all. Listen, Karen, no one could ever tell someone how to manage money like you. You know how I know you good with money? Because you raised all of them babies very well. And you blazed the trail for them to all be educated. Listen, just be mindful, y'all, that nothing is wasted. Be mindful of your purpose. Everything that happens in your life is you right now, the culmination of the person you show up as every day. Listen, had our brother Bliv not been a serviceman, shout out to our in-house veteran. Salute to you, Bliv. Listen, Had you not spent that time in military training, you might not have the discipline that you have today, not only to be an excellent son, an excellent father, but to keep yourself in such a discipline to have yourself in the gymnasium 2 times a day at our big old age. Shout out to you, are an encouragement, but it all had a purpose, right? You know what it is to sacrifice some sleep. You know what it is to pay it out in sweat equity. And let me tell you something about you, little Miss Marisol. Again, I don't gotta say a whole lot more because you already know. It's almost as if I'm sitting here reading your mind. Nothing has gone wasted. In your darkest days, you developed some skills that you didn't even know you had. Now look at you, just as tenacious as ever, doing things you never imagined you could do, building websites and things. And in a minute, we get to introduce Marisol as author here on the platform. So again, that's your story, your epistle, the epistle that I shared about in my personal timeline. Take the time to be intentional about your purpose. Write down some of the things that happened to you. Again, Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain that they may run and not faint. So we're not sitting up in here worried about the Smithsonian removing artifacts from that physical edifice down in Washington, D.C. Why? Every one of us is a creative artist using our experiences to tell our testimonies in song, in writing, in dance. And check it out. And even the way we strut it down the runway, nothing is wasted. Just be. It's your girl Tilted Halo, and I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And thank you once again, Bliv Mash, inspirational CHH artist extraordinaire, Marisol and G Cologne, Girl Talk Nails, Thomas Booth, BB Mind Over Matter, and Jackie, who is just simply every woman. That's all I got. Back to you, Karen.
Ooh, listen, this has been a show. This has been a show. We are super excited. We ain't going to prolong. We thank each and every one of you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us and your continued show up, right? Your continued show up. It's an actual action. Make sure that you are keeping contact with us. Check us out on our social media so you can see what we are up to in our respective places. And this, the importance of this tribe, right? We are a conglomerate of all different backgrounds, all different businesses, but like-mindedness brings us together so that we can share this joy tsunami. And we thank you all for being here for the ride. And in the words of Tilted, we out.
May is Mental Health Month. Don't forget.
We coming.
All of them
Right.
beautiful.